Tonight in Florida, a widow prepares to confront one of the state's largest sheriff's offices in a civil courtroom. At stake is a deadly collision, a deputy traveling nearly 100 miles per hour, and a debate over responsibility and restraint inside modern law enforcement. The upcoming trial asks a fundamental question. When a deputy responds to a minor school bus disturbance at extreme speeds, without lights or sirens, who bears responsibility when a citizen loses his life? The lawsuit centers on the death of 74-year-old Michael Keene, a Vietnam War veteran and retired commercial truck driver. He died 1 week after a high-impact crash involving Hillsborough County Sheriff's Deputy Devin S. Wooden in February 2021. Keene's widow, Pamela Martin, claims the sheriff's office is vicariously liable for Wooden's negligence, citing data showing the deputy was traveling 97 miles per hour in a 50 miles per hour zone while responding to a non-emergency school bus fight. The sheriff's office, however, denies responsibility and argues that Keene's own actions, or even the safety features of his older pickup truck, contributed to his fatal injuries. Both sides now prepare to present sharply conflicting narratives as jury selection begins. On the morning of February 26, 2021, around 7:30 a.m., traffic moves steadily along State Road 60. Michael Keene is driving eastbound in his 1996 Toyota T100, preparing to make a left turn onto Curry Davis's Drive. Surveillance video from a nearby dealership later shows Keene waiting cautiously for traffic to clear. Heading westbound at the same time is Deputy Devin Wooden, behind the wheel of a 2015 Dodge Charger patrol vehicle. Wooden is en route to a reported disturbance on a school bus. According to court filings, this situation was not coded as a life-threatening emergency. Despite that, and despite department protocols requiring the use of lights and sirens when exceeding speed limits, Wooden is traveling with no emergency signals activated. As Keene begins his turn, Wooden's patrol car strikes the pickup truck broadside. Data retrieved from the vehicle's black box later confirms an approximate speed of 97 miles per hour at impact, nearly double the posted limit. The force of the collision pushes Keene's truck into a utility pole, causing massive trauma. Keene is transported to a hospital where he remains for a week before his family makes the decision to remove life support. He dies within the hour. Body camera footage from the scene captures Wooden telling another trooper, "I can't stay under the radar to save my life," a remark that the widow's attorney says reveals a pattern of risky behavior. In the months that follow, attorneys for the sheriff's office develop multiple alternative theories. They argue Keene may have failed to wear his seatbelt, driven carelessly, or operated a truck that didn't meet certain federal crash protection standards. Attorneys for Martin counter these claims, saying they are inconsistent, last minute, even contradicted by the initial crash report, which allegedly shows Wooden, not Keene, was the one not wearing a seatbelt. No charges or disciplinary actions were taken against the deputy. Now, nearly 4 years later, the case moves to trial, with a jury tasked with deciding whether the sheriff's office should be held responsible for the crash that took a veteran's life. According to the widow's legal team, it was not. The call involved a school bus fight, with no reported weapons, injuries, or escalating danger. In most agencies, high-speed travel without lights or sirens is allowed only for life-threatening situations. That contrast, routine call versus extreme speed, forms the core of the negligence argument. It is a critical factor. Emergency signals exist to alert drivers and give officers legal priority on the road. Without them, a deputy traveling at nearly 100 miles per hour becomes virtually invisible to civilians like Keene, who cannot anticipate such speeds on a surface road. This dramatically weakens the department's defense and strengthens the widow's case. This is a common legal strategy in government liability cases. Shift partial or total responsibility onto the civilian. By suggesting Keene was careless, unbelted, or driving a vehicle lacking modern safety features, The sheriff's office attempts to dilute their own negligence and reduce damages. But critics argue these shifting theories reveal a defensive posture rather than a consistent factual argument. The comment, "I can't stay under the radar to save my life," may indicate self-awareness of habitual rule-bending or speed violations. To a jury, such a statement can suggest that the crash wasn't a one-time lapse, but part of a broader pattern of excessive speed. Introducing new explanations late in the process can be viewed as strategic scrambling, not genuine evidence-based argument. Plaintiffs often highlight this to raise doubts about the department's transparency and consistency. At the behavioral level, Deputy Wooden's actions align with a phenomenon known as mission. Urgency, distortion, the psychological tendency to overinflate the importance of a call while under occupational pressure. Combined with overconfidence bias, officers may believe their driving skills transcend the risks posed to civilians. The failure to activate emergency signals suggests an internalized belief that speed alone would allow him to respond faster without procedural adherence. The body cam remark supports the idea of normalization of deviance, where unsafe habits become routine because they go unchallenged. For Pamela Martin, the emotional arc reflects anger-driven grief, where the search for meaning after sudden loss merges with a drive for accountability. Her repeated questions, why would they allow deputies to go almost double the speed limit, underscore a feeling of moral injury. In her perspective, the institution meant to protect the public instead caused irreversible harm within the sheriff's office. The shifting defenses signal classic institutional self-preservation. Organizations often default to preserving reputation, minimizing liability, and maintaining internal unity. This dynamic can create friction between the facts of the incident and the institution's public stance. The introduction of multiple alternative theories from seatbelts to manufacturing defects reflects the psychological strategy of dispersing blame to reduce direct responsibility. At its core, this case sits at the intersection of human error, institutional caution, and the grief of a family seeking closure. It is not simply a crash. It is a collision of perspectives, each shaped by fear, duty, loss, and the need to protect what matters most to them. As jury selection begins, the civil trial will examine speed data, body camera recordings, surveillance footage, and contradicting claims from both sides. What the court must now decide is whether a deputy's high-speed response to a minor disturbance without lights, without sirens, and at nearly 100 miles per hour constitutes negligence under Florida law. For Pamela Martin, the outcome represents far more than financial relief. It represents accountability, answers, and the hope that no other family will face the same loss. The trial begins Monday.